Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 20, Principles, Strategies, and Tactics. So the reason I want to talk about this today is there is often confusion between these. Let's call it snobbery, for lack of a better term, and that is some coaches or mentors or experts, whatever they happen to call themselves, are all about one or the other and don't understand that it's just there's a broader picture to be done, more of a principle-based picture, actually. So here's what it is. I've had a young man insist that since he'd read Ray Dalio's Principles, excellent book, I would highly recommend it, by the way, going, oh, well, I know the principles, so I don't need anything else. He was young and inexperienced, and it showed in his words, because principles are great, but if you can't apply them, if you can't turn them into a specific, concrete, actionable behavior, which is a tactic, you're screwed. It's like, I know that novelty is really important for keeping people's attention in social media or anywhere else, education. So I'm going to wear a Santa Claus suit to my next business meeting. They will remember me. Oh yeah, they will. And you will probably be fired, because the context, which is, let's say, in the middle, strategy, is a bridge basically between principles and tactics. It combines elements of both. You could go, well, the strategy here is not to freak them out while understanding that the principle of novelty would be advantageous to have somebody remember you. The specific tactic, therefore, is to, you might wear an unusual tie if it's a business meeting. You might not wear a business suit at all, but a Santa Claus suit is probably too far. So understanding the principle of novelty doesn't serve you if you can't use it appropriately in the context to get the result you want via specific behavior or tactic. Okay, so one of my favorite examples of this would be somebody who does this by design. They tell you the principle or strategy, but they don't tell you the tactic. And this would be Seth Godin. He's very open about what he does and how he does it. Well, actually not quite how he does it, right? So this is what it is. He will share with you what he does, but you have to pay for how he does it. So he gives away the principle or the strategy, the what, but not the how, the tactic, the specific way in which you can apply it. So that's really why it's important to have all of them. So I like this idea of novelty because it's a great example, the Santa Claus suit thing, whatever it is. So an example here is, well, I'm using novelty insofar as I have a theme color, which is bright green. Some people would say it's not appropriately used, but I'm not doing, if I'm violating any of the other principles, strategies, or tactics, it's on purpose, as this is as much as anything an evolving experiment, this whole series. This is day 20, by the way. And here is where it becomes really important. You should definitely read Dalio's book on principles. You should probably, I don't know whether, well, for Gary V, I would read Jab, 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 Right Hook. So there's a good example, actually, great example. Gary likes to talk about clouds and dirt, where clouds are the principles, the high level 10,000 foot view, and tactics are the dirt, right? So in the case of Jab, 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 Right Hook, that is sort of tactical phrasing for a principle. He's really good at making things concrete. So jab, 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 right hook is the principle of giving value generously without obligation. Give, give, give. The tactic comes then, ask. So the jab, jab, jab is give, give, give. Give value, give value, give value. But the tactic is ask. Or in fact, you could take this whole thing and say, those three things, the give, 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 ask, are the tactics, but the principle is the jab, 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 right hook. right? Because you can, well, it's kind of in the middle though, really, because it's neither. It doesn't tell you what to give, what to give, what to give, or how to ask. So that would be the tactic. So I will give these videos away for free, probably forever, and use snippets of them and give them away for free as value. So that's a specific tactic. Do a daily YouTube show. That's a tactic. The principle is consistency, frequency, giving value. The strategy is a daily show. The tactic is the specific, could even be thought of more tightly as the topic of the show, right? You can say do a YouTube show every day, and that's a really good principle. It's very powerful for a lot of reasons, including the habit formation, also the consistency for your audience. The strategy is the everyday part, right? So the principle is consistency, the strategy is every day, and the tactic is a YouTube video. Or the principle is a YouTube video every day. The strategy is to give value and teach something new, but usually related to the last one and certainly related to sort of your area of strength or genre. And your tactic might be the specific topic. I've never talked about this on this channel. I don't even know if I've talked about it specifically on my articles on LinkedIn. But I use these things all the time. So it's not the principle, it's not the tactic, it's not the strategy. You have to have all three. If you believe principles are everything, then your view, ironically enough, is more like a dirt tactical view. You're looking at it from a point of arrogance, thinking you know everything and that principles can do anything. But principles are useless if you can't turn them into concrete, specific, actionable behaviors that you can do. So I'm just going to end it there. One more summary here. This was Crush It Club, episode 20, principles, strategies, and tactics. Principles are the high level, strategies are the intermediate scale, and tactics are the specific, concrete, actionable behaviors, which translate your principles into something you can do in the real world. You can't have just one of them. You must have all three to be able to use this stuff. I'm actually going to continue because I have a little more time on my clock, and that is principles allow you to generalize. They give you that flyover where you can now take that same principle and apply it in different places, in a totally different context, in a totally different situation. A strategy, again, it's just better thought of as being the bridge between the two. So it's like, I can do videos for content. Okay, let's call that a strategy, right? The principle is everyday videos. I can do strategies for content, and the tactic might be, I'm going to make clips of this video to use to pull people back to my channel, to get them to subscribe, to make them aware of me and get more whatever, right? And give more value. So the tactic is something specific, but it doesn't generalize well. To generalize, you have to understand the principle. And when you meet those two, you marry them together. It's the strategy, but the strategy is usually too specific to be used everywhere, but it's a more generalized principle, but it's not as broad as the principle. So this is sort of deep, broad, and abstract. This is intermediate, and this is specific and concrete. This doesn't translate well. This sits in the middle, and this can be used anywhere as long as you understand it deeply enough how to turn that abstract principle into a real specific actionable behavior. That's it for Crush It Club episode 20. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.